Today we got these clowns ruin car culture. Car culture is for sure different now. But I feel like back then it was more about looks of a car. Now it's just gone way out of hand with all these street races, these donuts, and all this street takeovers. I think it's just crazy.
These
Way out of
clowns
hand.
ruined
Way out of
car
hand.
culture. Slammed Enough Gatlinburg was a mess. Bro, even Yahoo
With-
is saying it's the
With
death.
people with like lies. I mean, respect to them, I guess, for like. I mean, not respect, but it's just different content. But I guess y'all like that. Putting other people's life on the line as content is crazy.
Car culture. That's how cooked we are that even
You guys are
washed
cooked.
news reporters are realizing it's getting this exhausting to regularly see all these car events constantly getting ruined by a bunch of low IQ influencers. Sorry that I'm a bit late to this
That
topic.
is true.
I've been on jury duty since the start of this month. I got assigned to a surprisingly intense case. Obviously, can't say the details, but apologies for the lack
Crazy.
of uploads. That's why. Anyways, I used to go to this event from 2019 to 2021. I would have never imagined how drastically the car community was going to change since
It
then.
changed
I was
big
about to
time.
move to Tennessee too.
Way
I might
different.
still actually move there. This doesn't change anything, but it does break my heart to see a state that is otherwise really
Way
tame
different.
and has decent car culture, very clean, well-respectable individuals, get invaded by a ton of clout chasers, takeover clowns, and other just low IQ behavior. The worst part is that once these people leave, the locals are the ones who are stuck with footing over the bill for all the damages that just happened. Understandably, the city's police department now disapproves of the car meet going forward, which obviously is a just de facto L for the car community as a whole when we can't have these events. Where have I seen this pattern before? Atlanta. This
Oh, we've
is
seen this pattern
completely
before.
out of the
We've
show
seen this
host
before.
control since this wasn't even the official meet. This was just a nighttime gathering at a place called
Jimmy's
Jimmy's, which is a
Market is
24-hour business
crazy.
that was
Meeting
pretty
over there.
lenient on expecting these attendants. Unfortunately, though, people couldn't follow that one simple rule, and
And he
this
got
innocent
shut
business is now the
down.
victim of all this clown behavior.
You can see the video right there on your screen. Dozens of people showed up to that business after the Slammed Enough car show.
1,400 calls were made to local police departments. 38 crashes were reported. 482 citations were issued. 40 arrests.
This was a car meet, by the way. All these cops that are showing up for, again, it's not even the actual car show, much less a riot, not a sports event, not a concert, and definitely not a political revolution. This is a freaking car meet. At the rate we're going, Trump might have to use the National Guard for car meets these days because this is insane waste of police resources just because a few people couldn't behave. It sucks. Part of the reason I used to like car culture so much was the fact that we used to be really, really underground. We didn't end up on the news for something stupid or petty like this. Like, I used to laugh at sports teams for starting riots for losing a game about throwing or kicking balls over a field, because if you really zoom out and think about that concept, that is just complete I peaked in high school behavior. That is what normies do, right? That's what people who have no personality do. I used to like that car community as a whole. We weren't those people. We were the people
That's in
who
Japan.
used to not be part of those groups, got disenfranchised with, you know, the overall typical behavior and the boring personality soulless crap, and we just were like, hey, we just like cars. It's
We just
tragic
like
to
cars.
see these clowns and their new trends only dig us further into our grave as we just speed run car community annihilating itself 100% any percent run. Like, Gatlinburg is only a small part of the bigger issue. This isn't our first or last time that BS like this has happened or will continue to happen. In Atlanta, for example, the night scene is basically dead. I mean, that dude in blue has a video that he made about a year ago that summarizes this topic. And from my perspective, like, imagine moving to a big city, right, for the car scene, having all these high hopes and actually getting to enjoy it for a couple of years and having a ton of fun. And then just like that, like a snap of a finger, it's all gone because social media just turned it into complete
It's
garbage. Like, I'm not even joking when I say like 2017 to 2019 was like the last remnants of like really, really cool car community. I don't know how it was in other cities, but in Atlanta it was still really, really well behaved. Then suddenly from 2020 to 2021 especially, whoa, whoa, like we
just
just
got
lost
crazy.
everything, especially like in Gwinnett County. Whether it's cutting up traffic, swimming through freeways, or the typical intersection takeover, it is no secret that the reason car laws, regulations, and restrictions have gotten so much stricter recently, especially past 2020, that's not a
because of the
coincidence.
car
It's a
community.
direct response to car culture as a whole. And I know there's always going to be someone who's going to try to say, we don't claim those people. They aren't real car guys. And look, I agree with that sentiment, but try explaining that to lawmakers, news reporters, and other influencers who are not part of the car community. They're just going to see loud cars of people who like cars go boom. And now the lawmakers target us, and as a whole, we catch the biggest stray of the decade. It's time that we brought back gatekeeping.
Get out of here. This place is too tough for you, little man. Listen, kid. I think you'd be more comfortable over at that place.
Weenie Hut Juniors!
Not too
See how I use Creative Cloud Pro to take my design projects to the next level. I use Adobe Illustrator's new AI tools to create graphics, Generative Fill to add in interesting details, and Generative Expand to make it a full-size illustration. And that's it.
10 grams of protein per serving and no added sugar. Quaker, bring out the good.
Too long ago, the car scene was still pretty underground. I only got to experience the tiniest bit of the tail end, like I said, from 2016 to 2019-ish. Social media definitely changed car culture around 2010 to 2012. And I will admit that even by 2017, it was already starting to crack. You know, there were already cracks showing along the edges with all the supercar flex culture, and it became more about bought instead of built. And that was really the earliest signs of it just all going down from there, because social media culture latched on to flex culture, clout culture, and it just spiraled into being about attention and status. A lot of people say that they miss the pre-2020 era of car culture. Like, man, I miss when car culture was more underground, bro. When you had to know somebody, you know, you had to know someone who knows someone to get into a meet. But then these same people also say, yeah, we gotta stop gatekeeping, guys. It's so toxic. Brother, underground, by definition, is gatekeeping. I'm tired of people pretending like it isn't. And it's a good thing, by the way. If you have to know someone to get into a meet, hell yeah. I love that. Why are we so scared of this word? Why are we treating it like the boogeyman? I can rebrand it. I'm pro gatekeeping, always have been. Miss me with this gentle parenting generation, bro. People pseudo canceled me on Twitter and crucified me on Reddit over my gatekeeping stance in 2019. And admittedly, I was a dumb 19-year-old back then when I made that take. But many years later, I think I predicted the future, because now we got tons of people wishing for gatekeeping to be back.
We have to hold these bad actors accountable. We have to self-police. That's the only way we're gonna be able to fix this. The government, the police, the anti-takeover task force, all that stuff is not gonna work. We as car enthusiasts have to take the lead and take the charge to fix this problem.
So I guess I was right all along. And I don't want to be smug about that. I hate that I'm right, because the cost of being right means that I'm now watching our community die. I wish I was wrong. I wish that all these newcomers who ended up joining the community behaved just fine and we could all frolic happily together, la-di-da. Too bad. They were toxic. Turns out when the only barrier/requirement needed to be considered a car enthusiast is to just vaguely like cars, then you get these clowns like this who claim to be car guys, because again, there's no more gatekeeping, anyone can be a car guy, but then they misbehave, post it on social media, make all these sad boy posts, edgy posts, and you know, F the police style crap, and then social media, news outlets, mainstream media, and all these lawmakers see these new generation car guys do this behavior, and our entire community gets punished as a result. We cooked ourselves with such a ridiculously vague and low barrier of entry. Can you really blame mainstream media and lawmakers for attaching these clowns to us when we were the ones who let them in the first place? We can't do the whole, yeah, we don't claim them, guys. We don't claim them. They're not our part of us. What?
Bye, have a great time.